Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video we are going to discuss about the soils of India, major soil groups. Now you might have already studied this particular topic in geography from NCERT, but here we are going to look at some of the characteristics of these soils which are not there in the NCERT. We are looking at soils from agricultural point of view. All right. So previously also in the examination questions have appeared from this topic. So this is very important. All right. So soils of India. So we are going to look at the classification given by Indian Council of Agricultural Research. All right. So ICR has classified Indian soils based on their nature and character into the following types. Now, if you see, the first type is alluvial soil, black soils, red and yellow soils, laterite soils, arid soils. Now, this particular group, saline soils, we are not going to discuss saline soils in this particular video. We will discuss this in a separate video where we are going to discuss about the problem soils, right? So in that we will discuss about acid soils or acidic soils, saline soils, alkali soils, and also submerged soils. Okay, so we are going to discuss these types in a separate topic. So I will not be covering the saline soils in this video. I will discuss it separately in detail. What is the extent of saline soils or alkali soils in India, in which states it is present. So we'll discuss that in a separate video. So I will not be covering this particular group here. So peat and forest soil. So these are the major soil types that we will discuss in this video apart from saline soils. Okay, so let us start with the first group, alluvial soils. Okay, so it is the largest with respect to area. It is the major soil group. So 40% of the area of the country, it covers 40% of the area of the country. This is the largest soil group, okay, with respect to area. So it is widespread in the northern plains and river valleys. Obviously, the term alluvium signifies that it is the sediment transported by the rivers or activity of streams. Okay, so it is transported and deposited by the action of rivers. All right. So these things are very common. You already know this. So alluvial soils, the texture of alluvial soil range from sandy loam to clay. Now, what do you mean by texture? Texture is the proportion of sand, silt, and clay in the soil. So, what is the ratio of sand, silt, and clay? Proportion of texture refers to proportion of sand, silt, and clay in the soil. So, these are the primary soil particles. Now, texture influences the agricultural production because if your soil is sandy or light soil, we refer to as light soil which has higher proportion of sand. So water holding capacity will be less. All right, you have to frequently irrigate. Silt is the sand particle, silt and clay particle. So they are differentiated or they are separated based on the size of the particle. So sand particle is of larger size, silt is in between, and clay is the smaller fraction. Okay, so in soil primary particles, sand, silt, and clay, they are separated based on the size of the particle. Now light soils means where they have higher sand content. Heavy soils, when we say heavy soils, it has higher clay content. You might have already studied or read about loam soils. There is something called as loam. Loam soils has almost equal proportion of sand, silt, and clay. So these are considered as very good for agriculture. So इसमें water holding capacity भी होता है, aeration भी होता है. Sandy soils have very low water holding capacity, but they have higher aeration for the roots. So sand, silt, and clay particles, they are the primary particles. And what is the ratio of these primary particles? That is the basic, that is the texture of the soil. So loamy soils are considered as good for agriculture. So horticultural crops या agricultural crops के लिए loamy soil is considered as best because it provides both aeration and also it has moderate water holding capacity. Now sandy loam to clay, it depends. ये अपर कोर्स ऑफ रिवर में बहुत ज़्यादा लार्जर पार्टिकल्स पेबल्स मिलेंगे तुमको. इन द मिडिल कोर्स यू विल हैव मोर sandy to sandy loam. In the lower course of the river you will have more clayey type of soil, right? So these soils are rich in potassium but poor in phosphorus and well supplied with lime. Okay, so lime calcium oxide or hydroxide के form में, so they are well supplied with lime but they have less amount of potassium and phosphorus. So if you see nutrients जो तुम्हारे macronutrients हैं NPK, they are also deficient in nitrogen भी ज़्यादा नहीं होता है and organic matter भी कम होता है, organic matter भी कम है. So when they are deficient in so many nutrients, we generally refer to alluvial soils as fertile soils. क्यों बोलते हैं fertile soils? Because they are very thick, soil तुम्हारा ज़्यादा thick होता है and deep soils are there. They are called as fertile soils because if you provide nutrients, अगर तुम nutrients provide करते हो, properly fertilizers देते हो, तो they are very productive. Okay, they are very productive in that sense. Inherently they lack nutrients, but if you provide nutrients from outside in the form of fertilizers, they are very productive soils. Their base exchange capacity is comparatively low. What do you mean by this? Base exchange capacity is comparatively low. So your calcium, magnesium, these are referred to as base forming cations. They are base forming cations. So suppose this is the clay particle, we represent the clay particle in the form of a thin sheet. Okay, and these clay particles, colloidal particles, or we generally refer to as clay colloidal complex. So clay particles, they have negative charge, predominantly negative charge, positive भी होता है but predominantly negative charge होता है, and this negative charge will help to adsorb these nutrients on the surface of the colloidal particle. Okay, so plants, they exchange these cations for hydrogen with the soil. So plants और soil के बीच में exchange हो रहा है. So plants give hydrogen and your clay particles, they will supply these cations to the plants. Now plants directly hydrogen नहीं देता है. So carbon dioxide which is released from the roots, carbon dioxide that is released from the roots, it reacts with water to form carbonic acid, and this carbonic acid will split. So these hydrogen ions are exchanged. So roots provide the hydrogen ions and in turn they will take up the base cations, right? So these calcium, magnesium, they are supplied by the soil. So when we say cation exchange capacity या base exchange capacity, so this is the property of the soil. ये clay particles का property है. It is not the property of plants. ये clay या soil का property है. So higher cation exchange capacity means they have large amount of cations. Their surface area, clay का surface area ज़्यादा है, so negative charge will be more and they can hold more cations. ज़्यादा cations को hold करेंगे तो ज़्यादा exchange भी कर सकते हैं plants के साथ. So larger the surface area of your clay particle, they can have higher negative charge, more negative charge, and they can hold more amount of cations. अब जब ज़्यादा cations होंगे तभी तो ज़्यादा exchange कर पाएंगे. So cation exchange capacity is the property of clay particles. So in soils का base exchange capacity कम होता है, so it is quite low. pH ranges between 7 to 8. So we are discussing alluvial soils. pH range from 7 to 8 क्योंकि lime है यहाँ पर. Okay, they are rich in lime. So even कंकर, calcium carbonate concretions, कंकर भी तुमको मिलता है. So it is because of precipitation of your calcium carbonate on your soil particles, वो धीरे धीरे precipitate होकर layer by layer form के कंकर form करता है. So this kankar is found in alluvial soil. So because of higher amount of your lime, it has slightly higher pH. Khadar, that is the new alluvium, and Bhangar, that is older alluvium. So तुम्हारा river basin के पास जो soil है which has been recently deposited, that is called as khadar, which is new alluvium. Older alluvium is which is far away from the river basin, so it was deposited long back. दोनों में कंकर तुमको मिलता है, कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट कॉन्क्रीशंस जिसको बोलते हैं. So these soils are more loamy and clayey in the lower and middle Gangetic plains and Brahmaputra valley. So देखो जब river flow हो रहा है, it depends upon the kinetic energy of the river. So if it is flowing at a greater speed, it has the capacity to take these larger particles, sand, silt को दूर तक लेके जा सकता है. But as it approaches the, as it comes to near the sea level, जब तक वो sea level के पास आ जाता है तो उसका kinetic energy कम हो जाता है. So it will flow slowly, and its ability to carry these larger particles like sand and silt will also reduce. So ज़्यादा clay तुमको या loamy या clay तुमको कहाँ मिलेगा? In the middle and the lower Gangetic plain. Color varies from light gray to ash color, and these are intensely cultivated soils. So तुम देखोगे पूरा यूपी, पार्ट्स ऑफ पंजाब, यूपी, बिहार, और तुम कोस्टल पार्ट्स में जाओगे तो ईस्टर्न कोस्ट में, वेस्ट बंगाल, सो ऑल द अलुवियम, जहां पर भी अलुवियल सॉइल है, दीज आर इंटेंसली कल्टिवेटेड. आई टोल्ड यू दीज आर फर्टाइल सॉइल्स. इनहेरेंटली उनमें फर्टिलिटी कम है, लेकिन अगर तुम फर्टिलाइजर्स प्रोवाइड करते हो, इफ यू कैन प्रोवाइड द न्यूट्रिएंट्स फ्रॉम आउटसाइड, दे आर वेरी प्रोडक्टिव सॉइल्स. सो बांगर एंड खादर की बात कर रहे थे. सो दिस इज द रिवर खादर जो है तुम्हारा, इट इज डिपॉजिटेड नियर बाय द रिवर. तो रिवर के आस जो पास में जो रिसेंटली डिपॉजिटेड अलुवियम है, इट इज कॉल्ड एज खादर और न्यू अलुवियम. और जो दूर है, इट इज फार अवे. बांगर इज फार अवे फ्रॉम द रिवर बेसिन. सो बांगर ओल्डर अलुवियम है, इट इज लेस फर्टाइल. खादर इज मोर फर्टाइल. ठीक है. सो दिस इज इंटेंसली कल्टिवेटेड सॉइल. नाउ इफ यू सी कहां पर है इंडिया में तुमको अलुवियल सॉइल, यू कैन सी एंटायर नॉर्दर्न प्लेन. पूरा नॉर्दर्न प्लेन मिलेगा, पार्ट्स ऑफ गुजरात एंड उड़ीसा. ईस्टर्न कोस्ट में यू सी कोस्टल पार्ट्स जहां पर तुम्हारा डेल्टा है. ओके, रिवर्स दे फॉर्म डेल्टा इन द ईस्टर्न कोस्ट. सो यहाँ पर पूरा तुम्हारा ये ब्रह्मपुत्र वैली, दिस इज ऑल अलुवियल सॉइल. ओके, one of the characteristics is because they are rich in lime, you can see concretions, these कंकर, they are found in both new alluvium and old alluvium. All right, so that is alluvial soil. So this is the largest soil group with respect to area, सबसे ज़्यादा यही है. Then black soils या black cotton soil हम लोग बोलते हैं इसको. ठीक है, commonly referred to as black cotton soil. Right, क्यों इसको black cotton soil बोलते हैं? Okay, black it comes from the color. Cotton soil क्यों बोलते हैं? Because cotton एक long duration crop है, 5 to 6 months depends upon the variety. Now in dry areas, जो विदर्भा का एरिया है महाराष्ट्र में, जहां पर ड्राई एरिया है, रेनफेड कंडीशन में तुम क्रॉप ग्रो करते हो, सो ब्लैक कॉटन सॉइल्स हैज हायर अमाउंट ऑफ स्मेक्टाइट क्ले. ये क्ले जो है, इट कैन होल्ड वाटर फॉर लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, इट विल स्वेल. तो स्वेलिंग एंड श्रिंकिंग एबिलिटी आता है बिकॉज ऑफ दिस स्मेक्टाइट क्ले. मॉन्ट मोनोलाइट इज द मेजर क्ले हियर इन द स्मेक्टाइट ग्रुप. तो स्मेक्टाइट क्लेस की वजह से दिस हैज swelling and shrinking ability. So 2:1 type of clay minerals है इसमें. So 2 silica tetrahedron layers and 1 octahedron layer. So इसको इस तरह से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. टेट्राहेड्रन लेयर, 2 सिलिका टेट्राहेड्रन लेयर के बीच में एक तुम्हारा एल्यूमिना ऑक्टाहेड्रल लेयर होता है. राइट, so 2:1 टाइप ऑफ मिनरल बोलते हैं. स्मेक्टाइट क्लेस, द मेजर जो तुम्हारा क्ले है, दैट इज मॉन्ट मोनोलाइट. It has this ability of absorbing water and it will swell when it absorbs water, and when the water evaporates it will shrink. So swelling and shrinking ability की वजह से it forms cracks. तुमको जो बहुत बार कोई मैगजीन के ऊपर फार्मर्स के प्लाइट के ऊपर कोई आर्टिकल लिखा हुआ, तो फार्मर का फोटो दिखाते हैं, बैकग्राउंड में एक सॉइल होता है जिसमें बहुत क्रैक्स आते हैं. राइट, सो इट विल बी समथिंग लाइक दिस. तो ये स्वेलिंग एंड श्रिंकिंग जो एबिलिटी है बिकॉज ऑफ द क्ले कंटेंट, properties of the clay, that is why it will form cracks when the water evaporates. It will shrink and form the cracks. So black cotton soil क्यों बोलते हैं? क्योंकि cotton long duration crop है. So this soil can absorb रेन वाटर, क्योंकि ड्राई स्पेल्स हैं, हमको बीच में बहुत सारे ड्राई स्पेल होते हैं मानसून के बीच में. एज सुन एज इट absorbs water, it can retain the water for long period of time, which is enough to sustain the crop. वो क्रॉप के लिए जो पानी चाहिए वो एब्जॉर्ब करके रखता है. सो इट कैन रिटेन द वाटर फॉर लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम टू सपोर्ट कॉटन, विच इज ए लॉन्ग ड्यूरेशन क्रॉप. सो इसीलिए इसको ब्लैक कॉटन सॉइल बोलते हैं, क्योंकि कॉटन को सपोर्ट कर सकता है अंडर ड्राई लैंड कंडीशन. सो इट इज डेवलप्ड फ्रॉम बसाल्टिक रॉक. सो ये वॉल्केनिक रॉक है. सो डेक्कन वॉल्केनिक प्रोविंस जो हम लोग बोलते हैं, सो इट इज द मेजर सॉइल ग्रुप देयर. अगर तुम ब्लैक सॉइल देखते हो तो ब्लैक सॉइल का मेजर प्रोपोर्शन महाराष्ट्र में है. सो 27%, अराउंड 27% ऑफ द ब्लैक सॉइल इज इन महाराष्ट्र. 21% जो है तुम्हारा एमपी में है. तो ब्लैक सॉइल कहाँ पर है सबसे ज्यादा? उसके बाद गुजरात. महाराष्ट्र में तुमको मेजर जो ब्लैक सॉइल सबसे ज्यादा महाराष्ट्र में है, उसके बाद एमपी में, देन गुजरात, देन कर्नाटका. ठीक है. सो इट इज formed from weathering of basaltic rock, that is volcanic rock. Now it is also dark in color, तो वो dark color का होता है. So black soil का जो color है, it is because of many causes. First one is color of the parent. So lithochromic जो बोलते हैं, जो parent की वजह से जो color आता है, that is lithochromic property. So अगर पेरेंट मेटेरियल जो रॉक है अगर वो डार्क कलर का है तो इट इज वन ऑफ द कॉन्ट्रीब्यूटर टू द कलर ऑफ द सॉइल. तो बसाल्टिक रॉक डार्क कलर में. दूसरा, द आयरन ऑक्साइड इट रिएक्ट्स विथ योर सम अमाउंट ऑफ जो भी तुम्हारा ऑर्गेनिक मैटर जो भी है वहां पर उसके साथ इंटरेक्ट करता है. सो दैट डार्क ब्राउन टू ब्लैक कलर इज बिकॉज ऑफ द इंटरेक्शन ऑफ योर आयरन ऑक्साइड विथ some amount of organic matter whatever is there. Okay. Then titanium oxide, it also titanium which is present in the soil, in the basaltic rock, that also contributes to some extent. So it is developed under semi-arid condition. It is also known as regur soil or black cotton soil. Regur soil भी बोलते हैं, black cotton soil भी बोलते हैं. They are generally deep clayey, बताया था smectite clay होते हैं, and they are impermeable. इतना easily पानी infiltrate नहीं होता है because of the higher amount of clay content. So when it absorbs water, it will swell. So they swell and become sticky when they are wet, and they shrink when they are dried. So this swelling and shrinking ability is because of the smectite clays which are present. They retain moisture for a very long time, so it can support the crops in rain-fed areas. They are rich in lime, potassium, iron, magnesium, aluminum. Nitrogen थोड़ा सा कम है. Phosphorus is also lacking. So nitrogen, phosphorus and organic matter, they are not very high. Again, they are rich in lime. तो pH तुम्हारा थोड़ा ज़्यादा होगा 7 से, because of the lime the pH will be higher. So base exchange capacity is also quite high, क्योंकि clay content पे depend करता है तुम्हारा base exchange capacity. Bases they are adsorbed on the surface of the clay. अगर clay content ज़्यादा होगा, and it also depends upon the type of clay. Smectite clays they have larger surface area, so they can hold more cations. जब ज़्यादा cations को hold करता है तो वो exchange भी ज़्यादा कर सकता है, right? So their base exchange capacity is quite high. Base exchange capacity or cation exchange capacity is the property of clay or the soil. So pH varies from 7.5 to 8.5 and color may range from deep black to grey. Color का भी reason बताया मैंने. तो ये जो है ना, इसके basis पे PYQ आ चुका है पहले. So it develops from, it is formed from the weathering of basaltic rock. So volcanic rock के, volcanic rock is the parent material, basalt. तो इसके बेसिस पे PYQ आ चुका है पहले. ठीक है. So this is how the black cotton soil is. Color बहुत dark तुमको मिलेगा. Now if you see black cotton soil, this entire area, so सबसे ज़्यादा तुमको महाराष्ट्र में है, देन मध्य प्रदेश 21%, महाराष्ट्र में 27% है, गुजरात 11% के आसपास है, देन कर्नाटका, पार्ट्स ऑफ आंध्र प्रदेश, राइट. So this is your black cotton soil. Then we have red and yellow soils. अच्छा, red जो है, red soil is because of hematite. अब hematite के साथ अगर moisture मिल जाता है तो it becomes it becomes limonite in the presence of moisture. So limonite जो है, it is yellow in color, और hematite जो है वो red color. So red and yellow soil is depending upon moisture availability. So hematite will convert into limonite, okay, which is giving the yellow color. So developed from crystalline igneous rocks, so granite can be one of the parent rock, or it can be formed from weathering of sedimentary rocks also. Sandstone can also give you red soils, right? So soils develop a reddish color due to wide diffusion of iron in the crystalline and metamorphic rocks. So because of the presence of iron oxide, the red color जो iron oxide की वजह से है. So it looks yellow when it is in hydrated form. देखो yellow hydrated form है 2H2O. So this water is in the crystal structure. So limonite की वजह से वो yellow color आता है. So these are fine grained soils and are normally fertile, whereas coarse grain जो fine grained soils है, fine grain माने तुम्हारा silt and clay fraction ज़्यादा है. Coarse grain means sand fraction ज़्यादा है. They are found in the they are found in the dry upland areas and they are poor in fertility. जो fine grained soil है, it is more fertile than the coarse grained soil. That is because of higher amount of clay fraction. Clay ज़्यादा होगा तो cations भी ज़्यादा होंगे. हाँ, उनका base exchange ability भी ज़्यादा होगा. So they are generally poor in NPK, right? They are poor in the macronutrients and also organic matter भी कम होता है इनमें. pH is 6 to 7.5. It can range anywhere between 6 to 7.5, depends upon many conditions. Rainfall कितना है, parent rock कौन सा है, उन सब पे depend करेगा. So slightly acidic range में तुम बता सकते हो इसको. So low base exchange capacity, predominant clay यहाँ पर kaolite है. So kaolite, it is 1:1 type of clay, यानी 1 silica layer and 1 एक tetrahedral layer है और एक octahedral layer है. एंड उसका जो सरफेस एरिया है, इट इज लेस. सो सरफेस एरिया कम होगा तो नेगेटिव चार्ज भी कम होगा, टोटल नेगेटिव चार्ज विल बी लेस एंड इट कैन होल्ड लेस basis. So keolite is the predominant clay and it is non swelling type clay है, लेकिन ये swelling नहीं है, पानी absorb करके swell नहीं करता है, unlike your smectite clays. Smectite clays they will absorb water and they will swell. Keolite में swelling ability नहीं है. They are found in the eastern and southern parts of Deccan Plateau predominantly, ठीक है. And also the foothills, Piedmont zone of the Western Ghats, long stretch of area is occupied by the red loam soil. They are also found in Odisha and Chhattisgarh. तुमको आंध्र प्रदेश में भी मिलेगा, तमिलनाडु में भी मिलेगा, उड़ीसा, छत्तीसगढ़, parts of Maharashtra. So they are red soil and red color is mainly because of iron oxide. So here you can see red soils. यहाँ पर भी है, नॉर्थ ईस्ट में भी you have. तो ये पूरा red soil है, this entire region red and yellow soil depending upon the hydration. Red soil if it is Fe2O3, limonite होगा तो yellow color में तुमको दिखेगा. Okay, so this entire area is your red soil. All right, now next major group is laterite soil. So the term later comes from Latin word which is brick. The meaning of latter is brick. So इसको brick making में हम लोग use करते हैं. So that is why the term laterite soil. So laterite soil develop in the areas with high temperature and high rainfall. So mainly तुमको high rainfall areas जहाँ पर tropical areas में high temperature and high rainfall. So these are the factors which favor faster weathering. So जो भी तुम्हारा rocks है, parent material, it will weather and the water, it will remove the soluble nutrients. जो भी तुम्हारे soluble bases हैं, they will be removed easily. So laterite soils are result of intense leaching due to tropical rains. So high rainfall है तो जो भी soluble minerals हैं, they will be leached out. What is remaining? So the minerals which are less soluble and more resistant minerals, they will remain. बाकी जो भी soluble bases हैं वो निकल जाएंगे वहां से. So bases, they result in higher pH. तो अगर तुम्हारे bases निकल जाएंगे, वहां पर क्या बचेगा तुम्हारे clay के ऊपर? Clay which has predominantly negative charge, अगर bases निकल जाएंगे तो this space will be occupied by your hydrogen ions or your more acidic cations, acid forming cations, they will occupy the clay. So it results in lower pH. So जो भी तुम्हारे soluble bases हैं, they will be removed. So pH is generally acidic. So they have light texture and they have open drain structure. So easily तुम्हारा minerals जो हैं they will be easily drained out, क्योंकि water तुम्हारा जो receive हो रहा है through rainfall, it will dissolve all the bases and it well drained soils हैं, यानी वहां पर पानी easily percolate करता है soil के अंदर, water can easily move through the soil and it will remove most of the soluble material. So with rain, क्योंकि heavy rain है तो lime, silica, they are easily leached away, and more resistant and less soluble minerals, so iron and aluminum oxides which are less soluble and more resistant, they will remain. So ये जो deep red color है laterite soils का, that is because of your iron oxide. So humus will be removed by the microbes, क्योंकि तुम्हारा organic matter decomposition is also high under high temperature. So high temperature में microbial activity will be high. High माने don't imagine above 40-50, उतना imagine मत करो, 25 to 30 के आसपास, 30-35, the microorganisms activity is very high and they will easily decompose the organic matter in a short period of time. तभी तुमको tropical areas में organic matter ज़्यादा नहीं मिलता है, though vegetation is high but organic matter will be decomposed quickly because of high temperature. So poor in organic matter, poor in nitrogen, phosphorus, calcium, they are easily leached away. Okay, while iron and potassium are in excess, so they are generally low in pH. तो acidic soils हैं, generally used for brick making, इसलिए उसको laterite soil बोलते हैं. They are generally found in Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, MP, hilly areas of Odisha and Assam. So this dark colored, ये जो area है तुम्हारा foothills, parts of Orissa, Tamil Nadu, some parts of your even Andhra Pradesh, यहाँ पे तुमको मिलेगा laterite soils. You will also find them in Meghalaya and northeast, also in some parts of Rajasthan. So that is your laterite soil. Then we have arid soil. By the term arid means rainfall कम होता है यहाँ पर. So arid soils, they range from red to brown in color. They are sandy in texture. Sand का content ज़्यादा होता है. Texture का मतलब क्या है? Proportion of sand, silt and clay. They are saline in nature. So जो भी parent rock जो है वो weathering होता है, the rainfall in this area is not enough to remove the salts, right? So salts को remove करने के लिए rainfall enough नहीं है वहाँ पर. Normally तुम्हारा जो rivers हैं, जो भी rainfall होता है, so they will remove all the salts and dump it in ocean. तो ocean का जो salinity है, that is because of all the salts which are coming from your rivers. So यहाँ पर rainfall इतना नहीं है कि वो salts को drain out कर सके, निकाल सके वहाँ से. So salt will accumulate over a period of time because of very less rainfall. So in some areas salt content is so high that common salt is obtained by evaporation. तो वहाँ पर salt content बहुत ज़्यादा है. You can extract salt by evaporating the saline water. So due to high temperature and accelerated evaporation, moisture is very less, and obviously जब बारिश नहीं होगी तो vegetation नहीं होगा, vegetation ज़्यादा नहीं है तो organic matter content भी कम होगा. So it is deficient in organic matter, moisture भी नहीं है, nitrogen भी नहीं है, they are not very fertile soils. So lower horizon of the soil are occupied by conker or hard pan. So what happens in this arid soils is the rainfall is very low, generally high amount of salt is also present. So जो भी थोड़ा बहुत बारिश गिरता है, the water will enter into the soil, it will infiltrate the soil. While it is moving down, it will dissolve the salts and it will take to the lower layers. But the rainfall is not enough to take the salts to the groundwater table. इतना भी ज़्यादा नहीं है rainfall कि वो groundwater table तक चले जाए. So it will go up to certain depth. अब बारिश रुक जाएगा. Very scanty rainfall is there. Now evaporation will happen because यहाँ पर टेम्परेचर ज़्यादा है. तो evaporation, due to evaporation the water which has moved to certain depth, यहाँ तक आया है salts को सब लेके, अब पीछे जाने लगेगा. evaporation हो रहा है तो the water will be moving upwards. So when it is moving upwards, it will come to certain level, एक height तक आ जाते हैं, सॉइल के अंदर दे विल रीच अप टू सर्टेन लेवल, एंड यहाँ पर आते आते वो इवोपरेट हो जाता है, सो दे कैन नॉट कैरी द सॉल्ट नाउ। सो जो भी सॉल्ट है वो यहाँ पर एक्यूमुलेट हो जाता है, तो सरफेस सॉल्ट जो है वो यहाँ पर एक्यूमुलेट हो जाएगा। सो स्लोली दिस विल कंटिन्यू फॉर ए लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, और यहाँ पर एक हार्ड पैन फॉर्म होता है, मेनली कंकर, कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट का हार्ड पैन फॉर्म हो जाता है। ओके, इट विल prevent further percolation of the water downwards. So this is one of the characteristics of the arid soil. So they are developed in the western Rajasthan. You can see them in the areas where rainfall is very low. So here you see you have arid soils where the rainfall is very low. Okay, then forest soils. तो जहाँ पर रेनफॉल ज़्यादा होता है तुमको यहाँ मिलेगा। सो दे आर फॉर्म्ड इन द एरियाज वेयर रेनफॉल इज अवेलेबल। सो स्ट्रक्चर एंड टेक्सचर इट वेरीज। ये कहाँ पर है तुम्हारा, माउंटेनस रीजन में फॉरेस्ट सॉइल जहाँ पर है। सो वेदर इट इज इन द वैली और इट इज ऑन द स्लोप। अगर ये वैली में है तो फाइनर पार्टिकल्स दे विल रीच द वैली, तो वहाँ पे तुमको थोड़ा फाइन ग्रेन सॉइल मिलेगा। और तुम स्लोप्स में अगर तुम देखोगे तो ऑन द माउंटेन स्लोप्स यू विल हैव more coarse type of soil. So they are loamy to silty on the valley side and coarse grained on the upper slopes, on the mountain slopes. They are the soils found in the lower valley are more fertile. Texture भी तुम्हारा favorable है for the growing of crops. So generally maize या other crops they are grown, wheat, maize. So in the snow-bound areas of Himalayas, they experience denudation because of the precipitation. So easily it is removed by the action of water. So generally they are acidic क्योंकि organic matter भी ज़्यादा होता है. So because of higher organic matter and rainfall ज़्यादा है तो vegetation भी होगा, higher organic matter, and the decomposition of organic matter is slow. जैसे temperate forest में होता है, so organic matter का decomposition भी slow होगा, so accumulate होता है यहाँ पर organic matter ज़्यादा, and that gives acidity. Okay, high rainfall है तो bases भी निकल जाते हैं. सो हाई रेनफॉल है तो जो तुम्हारा क्ले के ऊपर जो बेसिस हैं दे आर इजीली लीच्ड आउट, दे आर रिमूव्ड, दे आर सॉल्युबल एंड दे आर रिमूव्ड फ्रॉम द सॉइल, एंड द स्पेस विच इज लेफ्ट ऑन दिस क्ले पार्टिकल इट इज ऑक्यूपाइड बाय हाइड्रोजन। तुम्हारा हाइड्रोजन ऑक्यूपाई कर लेता है इस स्पेस को। bases are removed because of high rainfall and hydrogen will occupy the space left by those bases. So hydrogen ion concentration बढ़ जाएगा and soil become acidic. So generally acidic soils मिलेंगे तुमको। Forest soils are more acidic because of higher accumulation of organic matter and because of high rainfall the bases are easily removed. तो इंडिया में भी तुमको ज़्यादा ईस्टर्न पार्ट्स ऑफ द इंडिया वेयर रेनफॉल इज वेरी हाई, माउंटेनस रीजन है, रेनफॉल ज़्यादा है, वहाँ पे तुमको फॉरेस्ट सॉइल्स मिलेंगे। So ईस्टर्न पार्ट्स ऑफ इंडिया, सिक्किम, माउंटेनस रीजन जो तुम्हारा हिमालयन पार्ट्स है वहाँ पे तुमको फॉरेस्ट सॉइल मिलेगा। नाउ कम्स टू लास्ट ग्रुप दैट इज पीटी सॉइल। सो पीटी सॉइल हैज हायर ऑर्गेनिक मैटर कंटेंट। तो पीट सॉइल इसलिए बोलते हैं क्योंकि ऑर्गेनिक मैटर बहुत ज्यादा है, दे आर वेरी डार्क इन कलर। ये कहाँ पे मिलेगा तुमको, वेयर रेनफॉल इज वेरी हाई एंड वाटर एक्यूमुलेट्स देयर। So they are found in the heavy rainfall areas and high humidity, where there is high humidity, where there is a good growth of vegetation. So vegetation will provide the organic matter. Vegetation grow क्यों हो रहा है, क्योंकि plenty of rainfall है, water accumulate हो रहा है, तो it is good for vegetation. And vegetation ज़्यादा है तो organic matter भी ज़्यादा होगा। कहाँ पे तुमको मिलते हैं, तराई region. So if you see northern parts of Bihar, southern parts of Uttarakhand, okay, coastal areas of West Bengal, उड़ीसा, तमिलनाडु, तो यहाँ पर वाटर तुमको ड्रेनेज इतना प्रॉपर नहीं होगा, सो वाटर विल एक्यूमुलेट, ऑलराइट, एंड यू हैव प्लेंटी ऑफ वेजिटेशन विच विल प्रोवाइड द ऑर्गेनिक मैटर। क्योंकि ये सॉइल जो है इट इज सैचुरेटेड विद वाटर मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स, बिकॉज ऑफ प्लेंटी ऑफ अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ वाटर सैचुरेट हो जाता है, तो ऑक्सीजन की कमी होती है। तो दीज सॉइल्स दे डू नॉट हैव प्रॉपर ऑक्सीजन, सो ऑर्गेनिक मैटर डिकम्पोज होने के लिए यू नीड proper oxygen. So or microorganisms, they cannot decompose the organic matter readily if oxygen is lacking. तो ये सॉइल्स जो है वाटर से सैचुरेटेड होते हैं, हाई अमाउंट ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक मैटर, बट दैट ऑर्गेनिक मैटर डजंट डिकम्पोज इजीली बिकॉज ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ एरेशन. सॉइल में एरेशन नहीं होता है ज़्यादा. सो पीट सॉइल्स, द ऑर्गेनिक मैटर कैन गो अप टू 40 to 50%. दे आर डार्क इन कलर, ब्लैक इन कलर बिकॉज ऑफ द ऑर्गेनिक मैटर, कार्बन की वजह से. Okay, so organic matter does not decompose readily. It accumulates over a period of time and it can reach up to 40 to 50% organic matter content in the soil. तो उसी की वजह से वो डार्क कलर भी होता है. So this is your PT soils. Now if you see the PYQ which was asked 2018 या 19 में पूछा था, I don't exactly remember. So this was a question asked in the PYQ prelims में. So black cotton soil of India has been formed due to weathering off. तो parent rock कौन सा है पूछ रहा है. We know black cotton soil basalt से बना है, right? basalt से बना है. Now basalt is volcanic rock, so you can eliminate the options easily. So shale and limestone जो है, these are sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks है. Granite is your plutonic rock, volcanic and plutonic. So igneous rocks में दो टाइप के होते हैं. Plutonic means the magma has solidified inside the crust. जब magma बाहर आ जाता है, it is called as lava, and those rocks which are formed by cooling of lava, they are called as volcanic rocks. Granite जो plutonic rock है. Schist, it is a metamorphic rock. यहाँ पे देखो fissure volcanic rock, so ये basalt. So option B, brown forest soil नहीं है, तो option is B, volcanic rock से बना है, that is basalt. So that was the PYQ. So I hope it was helpful. So soils of India is a very important topic both for GS, I mean तुम्हारे मेंस के लिए भी. You might have already studied in geography also, but there are some other points which are not there in the NCERT. So this video will help you. All right. So that was all. Thank you very much.